Hello, sculptors. Welcome back for week 3 of Sculpture March Madness. My wonderful assistant, Michelangelo the Monkey, is back with us this week. It's very appropriate because this week's theme is creatures, great and small. I couldn't just pick 4 sculptures for you to choose from this week, so you're about to meet 6 awesome contemporary sculptors who are inspired by creatures of all forms and sizes. I hope you find them inspiring to create your own drawings for sculptures you would like to make of a creature. Think about what kinds of materials you might like to use and what scale your sculpture might be if you could make it of any material. I hope that you enjoy getting to know this week's sculptors and talking about what you like about them. I'm so curious which one will be the favorite at UES this week.
London-based artist Barbara Frank upcycles materials that would otherwise be tossed into a recycling bin to create a quirky menagerie of metal creatures. She often begins by creating a wire form before attaching the found objects, which can be things like windscreen wipers, keys, handles, silverware, tins, metal clips, jewelry, clock and watch pieces, or even chess pieces that she finds in yard sales, thrift shops, dumpsters, and even along the roadside as she walks. Diana Beltran Herrera is famous for her lifelike paper sculptures of birds. Achieving these incredible likenesses is a result of much research. Herrera explains that she spends a lot of hours collecting images of her birds in different positions. Then she does some reading to find the right measurements. The color of the birds is also really important to Diana, so she spends additional time trying to find the right shades and tones of paper. All told, it takes at least a week of research before she begins sculpting a particular bird. She starts with an armature using the same paper that the rest of the creature will be made of. Don't they look about to take flight? Vilu Jaanistu is a sculptor who was born in Estonia but currently lives and works in Finland. His work pushes people to question, is this art? Because of the materials he chooses to work with. One incredible example of this is his recent sculpture, Elephant, a monumental work sculpted entirely from recycled tires and steel, which now stands in a public park. His tire sculptures have also included a larger-than-life rubber duck, a gigantic gorilla, and towering palm trees. He likes using something familiar and always available in unexpected ways. Next up is origami artist Himanshu Agarwal, who is based in Mumbai, India. Agarwal's interest in the art of folding began when he was gifted a book on paper planes, and he became fascinated with the idea that a sheet of paper could be folded into any form. He began by working small, but then he became curious with what he could do with big sheets of paper. He says that the challenges in executing the idea were very different from those faced in folding regular-sized paper. Origami is based on geometry, on math. He had to rework the math to make the sculpture stable and balanced. He needed to work with gravity rather than against it for my design. Some of his sculptures take hundreds of hours to complete.
Wow.
Roar! Next up is Turkish artist Selçuk Yılmaz. By hammering and welding more than 20,000 metal pieces together, he creates massive sculptures that show the energy of the natural world. Created from nearly 4,000 pieces of metal scraps, his sculpture called Aslan, Turkish for lion, took nearly a year of work and involved hand cutting and hammering each individual metal piece. The final work weighs nearly 550 pounds. Last but not least, artist Kendra Haste uses galvanized wire and transforms it into lifelike sculptures of wild animals. By layering, fraying, and sometimes painting the wire, she is able to mimic the appearance of creatures, both large and small. She masterfully crafts the wire so that even subtle muscle definition is visible. She also manipulates the material to look as fluffy as a lion's mane. It's these many characteristics that make wire the perfect medium for her. She says, "No other material I've ever used has been able to suggest the sense of movement and life, of contour and volume, the contrasts of weight and lightness, of solidity and transparency, values I find in my natural subjects."